Hi there, Dr. C here. Award-winning author Cory Mortensen's second memoir, Unlost, is available now in audiobook format. It details his adventures backpacking south through Central and South America. And like the first book, it's filled with adventure, both harrowing and zany. So I'd like to read a small portion of that for you today. All right, so in this part of his story, he is in Ecuador in a place called Mitad del Mundo, which means the middle of the world. Mitad del Mundo was a giant monolithic monument with a sphere on top, standing 98 feet tall, put there by the French, albeit in the wrong place. This little detail, for the most part, was unknown to most, if not all, of the tourists who came to straddle the big, bold line representing the equator. At that time, I was one of those tourists. I meandered around the campus, which included a museum and a gift shop with a stamp, allowing you to stamp your passport, if you chose, to prove that you were there. I noticed a building off to the side of the monument and decided to give the knob a turn. The door opened. The room was darkly lit, and shelves held ink and relics. In the middle of the room was a table, about 4 foot by 4 foot, with a map. I walked around the map on the table. Quito. Okay, so I'm going to do that again. And I kind of want to show you when we're doing audiobooks, we do this thing called punch and roll, and you can kind of see how it's going to work here. So I'm going to back up in my audio file to where I made that mistake. I got to catch my text, though. So you'll hear it play a little bit. Quito. Yeah, there we go. So I need here. I walked around the map. There you go. So I'm going to zoom it out just a little bit like this. Put my marker here, my recording head. And then, here we go. 4 foot by 4 foot. I walked around the map on the table. Quito was placed in the middle with lines drawn projecting in different directions. They seemed random, yet the angles seemed consistent. The northernmost part of the map was Mexico DF. The southern was mid-Argentina. What happened next was possibly the most fantastic thing I learned on this trip. The Earth rotated in space, angled at 23.5 degrees. This gave us the seasons in the different hemispheres. We all learned that in science class back in the day. When you look at a piece of ink in art, such as a rug, for example, you would see a consistent pattern at an angle. That angle was approximately 23.5 degrees. So did the Inca know what angle our big blue planet sat at in the universe? Think about this. In Chichen Itza, the temple of Kukulkan, Mayan for feathered serpent, was a four-sided pyramid. The temple had 91 steps on each side, with the final platform on top totaling 365 steps, which equaled the number of days in the year. Because of its design and precise location, on the spring and fall equinoxes, the sun hits the temple and casts a shadow, giving the illusion of a serpent slithering down the temple. So, could the Inca have known the angle at which the Earth sat in space? Moving around the map, lines were drawn, interestingly, from where the actual Mitad del Mundo was. Actual? Wasn't I at the actual Mitad del Mundo? I mean, there was a big stripe painted outside representing the equator, a gift shop, touristy things. It turned out the Inca nailed it. All right, well, there you go. If you'd like to hear more about his amazing adventures and all the stuff he discovered along the way, check out his book. It was fun to read. It's a great book. It's getting terrific reviews, and I hope you go pick up a copy.